Today we did a lot. Okay, so we first started off with applying for our EIN for our business trust. And then from there, we went through how to establish a trust corporate credit for our business trust. And then from there, we went through how to apply for our DUNS number through Dun and Bradstreet, and we did the application. It was absolutely free, and we created our credit profile with all the information that we had. And then from there, we went straight into banking. So we did our first board meeting, which is for banking purposes, so that we can go ahead and open up that trust fund with the bank. And then we documented how much we're going to fund the trust fund with. After that initial consideration of that $1, whatever we're going to really put inside of the account. So we want to consider that a loan so we can get it back. And so we documented that with the promissory note. So all of your loans, you want to use the promissory note. And that's going to be with the beneficiaries as well as with the trustees. Okay. So that's how you're able to move money around and not be taxed, right? So with that being said, I'm going to open up the floor for any questions. I'll also look inside of the chat, but if you guys can just raise your hand, come off mute, ask any questions that you have based off of the information that we provided today or off of, the training from today, that would be great. So do I have any questions? Okay, Deborah, how are you? And I'll look in the chat as well.
I'm doing great. In the minutes on number 4, you had put your name and your co-trustee.
Mm-hmm.
My question is, that to me looked like it would be a dual thing. Would you not put and or just or your co-trustee?
Oh yeah, I didn't put like the word and like between the names.
Yeah, you put Christina and Sabrina, whatever, instead of Christina or Sabrina, because if you put and, you would both have to sign, correct?
Oh yeah, well, the word singly is there.
Yeah.
So it just pretty much, lets you know that they can enter into single transactions or independent transactions. And then it's also on the certificate of trust as well. So
Okay.
you'll have your trustees there, and then on the certificate of trust, it gives you the instruction that it is singly or independent. And then inside of the trustee powers, which is attached to the certificate of trust, it also reiterates the same thing. But yeah, add it. So like me, I'm going super fast, to be honest with you, because I just stay within the 2 hours. But yeah, and or absolutely.
I figured that. I just wanted to make sure that, it's like, in my mind, I would just go copy what you did. But I thought, well, wait a minute. If you're saying single, it should be an or and or. In other words, you could both sign or you could one sign. So that I just wanted to clarify that. Secondly,
Yeah.
I've been looking at a family bank and setting up a family bank as a well, say a dynasty legacy. That's the word I want. Can I do that? Should I do that in the business trust or in the family trust?
Family.
Okay, so you can do the same thing that you were doing with the promissory note, only setting it up as a family bank within the family trust.
Yeah.
Got it. Okay, thank you.
You're welcome, Deborah. Perfect. Awesome. All right. And then Ashley put, hi, can an LLC apply for the tax ID for a trust? So you do have to get permission from the IRS in order to do that. So you have to contact them and ask them for permission. And then once you get permission, then they will allow you to do the application online. Because generally a EIN, an entity with an EIN, they don't want another entity with an EIN to apply for another entity with an EIN. So you do have to get a prior authorization in order to have that done. Let's see, Miss Patricia, how are you?
I'm doing great, doing great. On the matter with the now the trust that we're doing, since we're using our social on the EIN, this is actually a public trust. It's not a private trust. Is that right?
So, you are giving your information to the IRS, okay? So it's a private trust, right?
Mhm.
Because it's not in the public and you're not just because you are applying for an EIN doesn't mean that you're creating a public profile, right? Just because you are applying for a bank account doesn't mean that you're applying for a public, you are putting the trust
Okay.
in the public.
Okay.
But you do need to be aware that you are giving that information to the IRS. It's
Mhm.
internal. They don't, issue it out to the public, right? So the public can't see it, but you are exposing yourself to the IRS. Okay. And if you don't want to do this, so now one, you're exposing that the entity exists, and two, you're exposing that you're the trustee of that entity.
Okay. Okay.
So the alternative that I've been telling you guys is to get a 98 number,
Mm.
because now you're going to have a foreign entity apply for the 98 number for your domestic trust.
Now, can a business, I know that a ministry can apply for a 9(8), but can a business do it?
A business can do it, and that's what I was telling Ashley, is that you have to get authorization to do it. So you
Now,
have
is that,
you have to
go ahead.
contact them. You have to contact
Yes.
them. You have to contact them and let them know that you want this particular business with this EIN to apply for the EIN for the trust.
Okay. There was another question I had, but I can't and it was about the verbiage. I think it was in the business trust section that dealt with a debit card instead of a credit card, but I kind of lost that train of thought. So
Is it for the meeting minutes that we went through?
yes, that's what it
Yeah,
was. I was looking
yeah,
for it.
so right, because we're talking about a bank account, which is like a checking account, and so we're not talking about a credit card. So we're
All
talking
right.
so we're talking specifically about a debit card or an ATM card. Those are the ones that are applicable with the type of account that you're applying for. So they don't give the trust a credit card that's associated with a checking account. So you're not going to see that verbiage in there.
Okay. Okay. And it's not possible to get that, to get a
It
credit card
No, it
with the
is. It
trust.
is possible. It is possible, yes. You do
Okay.
have to do a credit application.
Hmm.
Um, 9 times out of 10, they want you to be a personal guarantor, and then from there, they'll issue you a credit card. So yes, it is possible.
All
So
right.
um what you can do is you can have another board meeting, or you can add to this one if you're going to do all of that at one time. You can add another step on there, verbalizing that you're going to put a credit application in for a credit card under the trust, when at that time. And they're going to offer it to you anyways. They offer a bunch of products and services.
All
Hmm.
right then.
Yeah.
Okay. Thanks a lot.
You're welcome. You're welcome. And I saw your private message. So I'm gonna call you later on today, okay?
That'll be great. Yeah,
All
that
right.
that'll work better. Okay, thanks a lot.
Okay, let's see if there's any other questions. So let me see. So Tony put, after the board meeting, where does the attendee sign after you have printed it? So they sign the board meeting. So you have to, you could create a line with their name, or you can just have them, freely sign. So however you want to do it. If you want to create a second page, a separate page for the signatures, But I didn't put those lines there, so you have to, and I don't know what positions you're appointing people, so just create a line and then have them sign, but they have to sign. So create a signature line. Next question is, how does the trust apply for LLC, or can the LLC get funding without being exposed? Yeah, that's great. So, okay, so two things. In your emails, you have access to our funding partner. So our funding partner, his name is Brian Dorsey, and he is going to help you build the credit for your entity. And that is LLC Corporation Trust. And then he's going to help you get the funding for your entities. Okay. So what a lot of people do is they choose to, instead of building credit with their business trust, they choose to build credit solely with their LLC and have the LLC owned by the business trust so that they don't have to expose it in that way. You have to understand though that if you're using your business trust as a holding company, the name is still going to be on the public records through the Secretary of State. So you're going to have the name and the address there, but the contract is still private. The contract is not registered, right? So it's only going to have the existence of the entity be known, okay? And you don't have to apply for like an EIN or do any of those other things or build credit with it, okay? So that is a good strategy, okay? If you want to build credit solely with the LLC and not have to go through all of this stuff with the business trust as far as creating a whole profile and everything like that, you can do that, okay? With our funding partner, so one thing about credit and one thing about funding, getting loans, lines of credit, things like that, is that it's easier to do it with an LLC or mortgages, anything like that. It's easier to do it with an LLC. Why? Because LLCs are more popular. Why? Because the government is making money, right? So you have to go to the state in order to apply for them. You have to pay them every single year in order for you to continue to operate them, right? So it is a money machine for them, okay? So that's why they are more popular than a trust, okay? So with that being said, it is because they're more popular, it's easier for you to get funding with them. It's easier for you to build credit with them, with the LLCs. So that is a good option to have your LLC out here in the forefront because it's already a public entity anyways. So have it doing all the commercial transactions, and then keep your business trusts as it's designed to just be the holding company to just own the LLC. And you can still get, funding, and there's going to be no problems with your applications or anything, or your loans or anything like that, just because it's owned by a holding company or a trust. Crystal Clear Connections said, great question. Yeah, it is a good question. So thank you, Tony, for asking that question. So that is a strategy that a lot of people use, even a lot of real estate investors, right? They will acquire the properties with the LLC that's owned by the business trust, okay? Because it's easier for you to get a mortgage. So let's just say that there was 100 mortgage companies available. All 100 of them will issue you a mortgage for LLC, but only 10 of them will issue you a mortgage for a trust. So your options are limited with the trust, to be honest with you and transparent with you. Can you get a mortgage? Yes, but it's with the right institution. Not every institution gives you a mortgage under a trust, but almost all of them will give you a mortgage for an LLC. So keep that in mind. So let's see what other questions we have. Veronica. Hey, Veronica. Oh my God, Veronica is new. She just signed up. Hey, Veronica, how are you? Where are you? I don't see you here. Let me see, where's Veronica? Oh, she all the way down there. Okay. Hey, Veronica, how are you? All right. So, this is my first day. Okay, so Veronica said, how does she get caught up? So Veronica just joined the community. Congratulations to her. So we have been doing this all week, Veronica. So Monday we set up the business trust. Tuesday we set up the family trust. Yesterday we set up the business trust and we got our EIN. And today we got the EIN for the business trust, and then we did, you know, everything, the banking and the promissory notes. So everything is inside of your online portal. So when you signed up, you had got your login ID and password, and it is inside of your email, inside of your inbox. Okay, so go log into the online portal. You're going to see two options once you log in. One is the course. So you could dive into the course, you can get familiar with all the information. But the second option is the workshop recordings. So right now you're attending a workshop, it's being recorded. So as soon as we're done with this recording, we upload it into the portal, okay? So you just scroll all the way down to the bottom, you're gonna see these dates, right? So you'll just go to today's date and then you'll click. So you wanna start from Monday, and then you'll be able to watch all of the recordings and get caught up. The next thing is that you have lifetime access to the workshops. So when we have our workshop next month, we have them every 4 weeks. So the next one is coming up April 22nd through the 26th. So you could attend live. So we'll put you on the email list, and then you'll also get the text message reminders that you received today. You'll always get those for life, right? So whenever you get them, you just click on the link and you just dive right into the trainings. So for our next one in April, you can attend from Monday live, and you can get all of your answers to your questions and things like that. Once you're done setting everything up as far as your trust and your board meetings and your other things, you know, for your assets, your other templates, then you could book a one-on-one call with me, and then I'll be able to review all of your documents just to make sure that you have everything correct before you go to, you know, submit or notarize or do any of that stuff, okay? So I hope that helped, but let me know if you have any questions, and then you could also contact anyone on our team. So you can contact me, and so our contact information is inside of your emails. So you can contact me at info@7waystowealth.com. You can also contact our program director, Dana, at support@7waystowealth.com, and then you can also contact my assistant, Aya. So she's the one who sent you the email earlier today at Aya@7waystowealth.com. All right, so I have Beverly. Hi, Beverly. How are you?
I'm well. How are you?
I'm doing well.
Um, both of these questions might be a little off, but just they might be relevant to I might be able to just Google it, but the other, it might be helpful to the others. One was, is it expensive to have a domain, like just your own, instead of using a Gmail account, to just have a family domain website where, because I forget things all the time, right? So my thought was, is it expensive or easier to have a family domain website? Because I have 4 kids. So eventually they all will need, this in some way or another, right? And then they will all need those email addresses. And then they will all need those virtual addresses. Is that something you would like? Is it expensive, and is that something you would recommend, or is that just too much exposure to the public?
Mm, okay, so are you gonna put stuff on that domain? Like are you gonna have like a website and put like personal information? Is that what you're talking about?
No, if we were, we would have, dual pages, just do more than one. But
Okay.
no, just for the sake of containing.
So if you're going to operate your family like a family office, then it would, it would benefit you. Um if not, then really the domain is for businesses or, organizations. So not really for family.
Okay. And so not really for business, not really for family. I don't know. I'm just for some reason I'm like, how do you get an email address that's not free? I guess is what I'm getting to.
Oh, yeah. So yes. Okay. I'm sorry.
You
Yeah.
know what I mean?
You were asking if it's expensive. Yeah, I didn't even answer that. Okay.
No,
So,
no, because I said it all confusing. So apologies for that.
oh yeah, absolutely. So you go to a domain provider. There's a couple of them. So I use like I have like 2 or 3 domain providers, but my main one is GoDaddy. Have you heard of GoDaddy?
Yes.
I love them. So
Okay.
I have like 20 domains. It's crazy because I have a domain just for like each one of my products. So
Yes.
like my webinar, I have a domain. My website, I have a domain. My ebook, I have a domain. I'm just cuckoo with it. But the domains are like $10, like 10, 12. It just depends on the provider. Some of them are even cheaper. Like I use another company called Pork Bun, and that one is like $8, like $7, $8. And
Hmm.
that's annually.
Cool. But you don't have to actually build a website.
You don't.
Great.
No,
So,
yeah. And so you can have the domain, and then you can have the you can have the email associated with the domain. So you can do the emails through Microsoft. You could do them through your domain provider, and then you could also do them through Google Suite. So for our organization, we have used Microsoft, but it's not user friendly. So we transitioned to Google Suite. And that's, it's technically for businesses just because domains are like business use. But
mhm.
but that is expensive. So with the Google Suite for you to have the email, it comes with, I think it's like, again, I think it's like maybe like somewhere close to $10, give or take. Um, give or take, and that's per,
Per address.
yeah, per address, yeah. So
Okay.
per address, per user. So they do give you a second inbox too. So for example, if you do like info at and then your domain provider, but then you want a subdomain, so like support at, then you can get two for one.
Sounds great. Sorry
Yeah.
making that so difficult, but
No,
I'm
don't
getting
worry.
there, trying to get
Don't
it
worry
out of my
about it.
head. And
Yeah,
then the other part is, I guess generally we would all register anything that's going to be registered in our own states, um, business or otherwise. But is there, I think, business registration in Minnesota gives you 10 years without having to recertify.
oh
And
my
then I've heard
God.
someone else say that it's
Amazing.
better to register any business in Delaware because it's a private state.
Yep, it
But
is.
I couldn't find any information on the Delaware being a private state advantage.
Yeah,
Are you aware of any of that? Kind of like you can have a Nevada corporation and then, things like that.
yeah, I have heard of it. So I've heard of it. I personally don't have any entities in those states, but they do give you that anonymity. So they give you that privacy of not exposing it to the public, or not being a part of the public records that whoever the owner is, which is a good thing. So the only thing with that is a lot of people are not aware that they do have to register it without what I so if you're going to register it in Wyoming or Delaware or Nevada, right? Those entities, wherever you're actually doing business, you have to register it as a foreign entity there as well. And so a lot of people, they don't do that and they're kind of operating illegally. So for example, let's just say that you're doing real estate, right? And so your LLC is in Wyoming, but you have a rental property that LLC owns in Georgia, right? Well, you're technically doing business in Georgia, right? But that is a Wyoming LLC. And so what you have to do is you have to register that Wyoming LLC in the state of Georgia as a foreign entity. And then that's where the exposure comes. So a lot of people don't do that, but they're operating illegally because you have to do it that way. If you're doing business in that state, you have to register that LLC in that state that you're doing business in.
Okay.
Unless it's an online business. So like my business is an online business.
Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome. All right. Miss Patricia and then Miss Bay. So hey, Miss Patricia.
Hey, I wanted to ask, the LLC has to have a different name than the business trust. Is that correct?
No, it's not. You could have the same name. It's confusing, but you could have the same name.
Okay. Is it better to have a different name?
If you want to distinguish that there is a difference, yes. So that's why for my holding companies, I always use the word holding just because I want to distinguish that it is, it is different. But you can have a trust and an LLC with the same identical name. I personally have that. I have a trust that's called Seven Ways to Wealth, and I have an LLC that is called Seven Ways to Wealth. They're two separate entities, and they're two different entities. One is a trust, one is an LLC, and they have two different EINs and two different bank accounts.
And the LLC is carried under the holding company for the trust.
No, so I have a different holding company that owns the LLC.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. That's it. Thank you.
You're welcome. But other people have it the way that you're explaining it, where they'll have the same identical name of the trust on the LLC. They have done it that way. The next question I see, I'm gonna go to Ms. Bay and then I'll go to Ashley and then we will wrap it up, you guys, because
Okay, hello there. I just wanted to ask a quick question.
Yes,
Can you
miss.
tell me again, how do you section off the trust binder? What,
Oh, yes.
How did you section it off? I didn't have a pen yesterday when you said it.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Okay, so the first section is going to be the trust indenture.
Trust indenture,
Yeah,
okay.
and then you could have all the schedules in there as well. Then
Okay.
the second, so your schedule A, B, C, and D, and then if you add more. And then the second section is gonna have your board meetings, all of your meetings. So we just had our first one. So you'll print it out and you'll add it to the second section of your binder.
Okay, wait, before you go on. Okay, if you're having 3 trusts, so you're putting all 3 of these things together? Okay, in after each trust, gotcha, okay.
You're
That's what
gonna
I
have
want.
one binder per trust.
Yeah, okay,
These
okay.
are separate entities.
Okay, gotcha. All right. Okay, board meeting, and what's the next section?
So the next section is so trust indenture, board meeting, and then the third one is any property that you're going to have in the trust, right? So those are going to be your deeds, your bill of sales, your titles to vehicles, or if you have like a 401k, if you guys are having like insurance policies, put like your policy binder in there. So all of the assets that the trust owns, you're gonna put those ownership thing documents there.
Okay.
For the third one. Then the fourth one is going to be any amendments or any changes to the trust. And then the last one is going to be any financial things associated with the trust. So for example, well, okay, the one before that is any amendments, but then also any contracts too. So if you have like a real estate contract, if you have What other contracts do we have? You even like your promissory notes, those are contracts, business purchase agreement contracts, things like that. And then the last one is all of your financial responsibilities. So those are all of the bills, right? So like your tax bill, your mortgage payments, your utility payments, whatever else, your car note, whatever else is associated, or whatever financial obligations that the trust has. That could be either, that could also be payroll and other you know, agent services, stuff like that. You'll put that in the last section of the binder.
Okay, and you were saying something about the trust cannot, it would have trouble, but you would have trouble purchasing a mortgage if you have a trust. Can you tell us what is a better way to go about getting a mortgage or a house?
Oh, so it's not that you will have trouble. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying that you will have a limited amount of financial banks or mortgage companies that will provide it, right? But the trust can and will qualify for a mortgage. The thing is that you have to show proof, right? And so you show proof just like you would show proof with a LLC. It's the same way. So yeah, Beverly said limited options, exactly. So how do you show proof? With bank statements, right? So your trust is not going to qualify for a mortgage if your trust is broke, right? If your trust doesn't have any money, right? If your trust doesn't have any income, then it's not going to qualify, right? So you have to show proof of income. So you have to show the bank statements. That's the only way that you could show proof of income, okay? So have those bank statements. And then if your trust files taxes, right, that 1041, then have that tax return also available. And those are your ways for you to qualify for a mortgage with the trust, okay? So it can qualify. Another option that people do is, what they will do is two ways, right? So some real estate investors, including myself, we get loans with the LLC because it's easier. So we'll get a mortgage, a hard money loan, or whatever other options. And then we will deed it into the trust. So we'll close with an LLC, and then after the closing, we'll deed it into the trust. So that's, you know, another option. And then the same thing goes personally, right? So you as a personal person, as an individual, you have W-2 income. So with that W-2 income, it's super easy for you to buy a property, right? And you can qualify for a lower down payment, right? Because with those other entities, you got to put 20%. But you as an individual, you qualify for, you know, as low as 3.5% or 5% down payment. So you want to be able to leverage that, right? So let's just say that you do, you know, first time home buyers or any of these programs for individuals, right? So now you qualify with your W-2 income, you qualify for this low down payment of 3%, right? 3.5%. And so now you close in your personal name. So now once they have deeded the property over to you, and now your name is on the deed and you've already closed onto the property, then you will re-deed it over to the trust. Okay, so those are your alternatives. So you could either purchase the property with the trust, right? As long as you have proof of income. So don't think that you can do this without having bank statements showing cash flow, okay? And then, or purchase the property in your business since it does have cash flow, or purchase the property as an individual using your W-2 income, and then deed it into the trust.
Yeah, because I was kind of thinking along the lines of, you know, I was I'm a retired social worker, so I'm more or less community type based, and I'm looking to help get some shelters for like battered women or veterans or something like that to, to help them to be able to get back on their feet. So naturally, it would be real estate that I would look for, something so something big enough to house them, and yeah, it's kind of exciting. I'm kind of looking forward to it because it's something I always wanted to do.
Yes, I agree with you, and that's beautiful. Yes. Yep. So, whatever help you need, Miss Bay, just let me know.
Okay. All right.
All right.
Thank you so much.
You're
Oh,
welcome.
and I finally got my thing, my affiliate link linked.
Yay! Okay, congratulations.
I finally figured it out and got them all linked up. So, it's a matter of time.
Okay, that is awesome. I love hearing that. Yay. Okay,
Mhm.
we do have an affiliate program. So Ms. Bay is one of our affiliates. We have a few too. Raymond's one of our affiliates. Flo's one of our affiliates. So Patricia as well. So if you want to join the affiliate program, then go ahead and click the link that you received in the email. You can register to become an affiliate, and then you can get 20% commission off of anyone that you bring into the program. So like Ray, he's brought a couple people into the program. So even Flo too. So from there, I have one more question and then we are going to wrap it up, you guys. So wait, let me see. Well, no, I have two more questions. Okay, so Marquita said, we apply for the EIN for the family trust the same way we do for the business, correct? Yeah, that is correct. So tomorrow we are going to be applying for the EIN for the family trust, so we can do that together. So you can only do one EIN application per day. So if you already did the family trust application, the business trust application today, then tomorrow we're going to do the family trust, okay? So you do it the same way. We're going to do it tomorrow. And then the last question is what if the income is silver and gold, that's perfect, right? So if you want to fund your trust fund with precious metal, you can do that. You can fund your trust fund with precious metal, gold, silver. So all you have to do is just identify like the ounces and stuff like that. So how many ounces of silver or gold you're putting inside of the trust. And then at that point, that is what's going to fund the trust. So remember that whatever that consideration is that you're putting on the Schedule A is you documenting that the grantor is handing you, 20 ounces of silver, right? So that is what you're documenting. And then you as a trustee are then receiving those 20 ounces of silver and you're putting it, wherever into a safety deposit box that's owned by the trust that's located at whatever location that is located, okay? So yes, that is a way that you can fund the trust fund. And Beverly said, thanks. You're welcome, Beverly. And if you can get a contract from the state for the shelter, you can take that contract to the bank as collateral for the real estate. That's wonderful. Yeah, so that's why I love this community, because we're always here to help people. So Ms. Bay, that's what she was telling you. If you could get a contract from the state for the shelter, you can take it to the bank as collateral for the real estate. So that's great. And then Flo wants to know if you're in the Facebook group, Miss Bay.
Yes.
Okay,
Yes.
perfect. Okay, she's in the Facebook group. Yeah, Flo is one of our ambassadors, right? So Flo is here to do, she will notarize your trust if you need her to notarize it for you. Flo is a very good resource to have. She knows a lot about a lot about a lot. So Flo is one of our ambassadors. So she will be able to help you out. And let's see here. I think that's it. I don't think we have any other questions. So that's awesome. All right, guys. So with that being said, we do have homework, right? So the homework is one, if you're not in the Facebook group, please get in the Facebook group, okay? So we have, I think, almost 300. I don't know. Dana, do you know how many people we have in the Facebook group? So I know that our community is 400 people, and I think probably maybe a little under 300 are in the Facebook group. But that is still good because not everybody has Facebook. But with that being said, inside of the Facebook group for today's homework, what I want you guys to do is post what bank or credit union or brokerage you're going to use to open up your trust fund, okay? So do your research, do your due diligence, and go see who you're going to open up your bank accounts with for your trust, okay? And then let us know in the chat. There's a lot of us that we have our trust accounts already, right? So some of us, we've gone to Navy Federal. Some of us, we've gone to TD. Some of our trustees have gotten accounts with Wells Fargo and Chase. I don't recommend those big banks, but they've gone there. Some of us have gone to Truist. I'm with Truist. Some of them have gone to Ally. I'm with Ally. Some of us have gone to PenFed, to Premier, to other banks that I don't even know the names of them because they are like local banks that I've never even seen before. As well as credit unions. So don't sleep on your credit unions either. Some of us have also gone to brokerage, which is Fidelity and Charles Schwab, right? So they've opened up brokerage accounts or investment accounts there as well, okay? So I have one with Fidelity, and a lot of our community, they've gone to Fidelity. Some of them have gone to Charles Schwab, okay? So it just depends. But go ahead and do your research. So what a lot of people do is they'll call around, right? Because you have to verify and make sure that these banks offer trust accounts. Not all banks offer trust accounts, okay? So whatever bank that you're going to do, call them first. You could normally start the process over the phone before you go inside the branch, okay? When you go inside the branch, just make sure that you have your supporting documents, which is your certificate of trust. So with that being said, oh man. So with that being said, make sure that whoever you are using, call around and make sure that they offer trust accounts. You can do it with banks, you can do it with also credit unions, you can do it with brokerage accounts, you could do it with online banks, okay? And so with that being said, let us know who you're going to bank with, okay? And let me see, I think somebody said, I'm still waiting to be accepted. Okay, so Dana is our program director. She's going to accept you inside of the Facebook group. Make sure that the group that you are waiting for acceptance says Wealthy Trustee Community. Okay, so make sure it says that. Make sure it doesn't say 7 Ways to Wealth, okay? Because that's not the right group. So Flo said if Miss Bacon messaged you on Facebook. So yes,
Message flow?
yeah, message Flo on Facebook.
Okay.
Okay, perfect.
Thank you.
Yeah, so all of the workshops, so the workshops are from 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. It's Monday through Friday. We get everything done in 1 week, okay? And then we do it every 4 weeks. So the next one is April 22nd to the 26th. Then after that, we support you every other week. We have Q&A. And so we meet on Zoom for 60 minutes on Tuesday. So our next Q&A is coming up in a couple of days. It's coming up next Tuesday. So what is the date for next Tuesday? Let me look. So next Tuesday is the 2nd. So on the 2nd, we have a Zoom meeting for all of the community where we're going to come together and we ask questions. We provide resources. We help you with whatever you need, okay? So whatever it is that you need, you jump in on Tuesday at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time so that we're able to assist or be a resource or whatever it is, okay? So those are the things. that we have for you. And so that's 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And then every Wednesday we have the webinars. So the webinars, a lot of you guys have already attended. So if you want to introduce this type of information to your friends or family, invite them to the webinars. All right, guys, so you have your homework. So I will see you here tomorrow at 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, and you will receive an email with the resources that you need for tomorrow from Aya. So tomorrow we are going to be going over transferring assets as well as infinite banking, okay? So as far as transferring assets tomorrow, we are, I'm going to provide you with the quick claim deed, with the bill of sales, with the business purchase agreements, so that we're able to transfer your house, your car, and your businesses into the trust. And then we'll review the amendments with the Secretary of State tomorrow. And then the last portion is where my partner Marvin Mitchell, he's going to come on board and he's going to teach us about infinite banking, so we can learn the concept of infinite banking so that we can get our cash value life insurance policies that are going to be owned by the trust, and have the trust be the beneficiary of those policies. So we're going to learn that tomorrow as well, okay? So you're going to be receiving all the resources tomorrow morning before the workshop. So everyone, go ahead.
What is Marvin Mitchell's email? Does he have an email?
Yeah, I can't say his email right now because
okay.
we're on YouTube.
Okay.
So
thank you.
But yeah, I'm gonna put you in connection with his team, Ms. Bay, okay?
Okay.
Okay, all right. So with that being said, good night. It's 1:30 and I'm saying good night. All right, everyone have a blessed day. I will see you guys tomorrow.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye. Good night.
Good night.